Okay. So while Al is away, we're all going to play and we're all going to talk about Journey now. So I think this picture is fantabulous and it says Steve Perry Talks. Oh, this is going to be great. I'm going to read you the whole thing. We're going to read the whole dang article. All right, everybody. You're welcome. From 1981, Journey, 25 things you might want to know about Journey, or you might not, but I think you want to because we're all crazy people here. So look at this picture. Is this not great? Stop it. Stop. Look at that. Is it shiny? Can you see it? I hope so, because I can't see a thing right now. I'm just looking at Debbie Harry and the cover of this Creem magazine. Look at that. Look at this. This is a nice picture of Journey right here. And these are the dudes. All right. So here we go. We're going to read the whole thing. Al's having a conniption right now, but it's fine. All right. So Ross Valerie, Neil Sean, Steve Perry, Steve Smith, and Jonathan Kane. Look at these guys. Oh my gosh, I love it. Okay, so here we go. Hitting the top of the charts in early September was Escape and latest and certainly best-selling album to date, Scant. I love that. Scant weeks before its release, we caught up with two journeymen, vocalist Steve Perry, who composes a large portion of the band's material, and lead guitarist Neil Sean, who's been with the band since its inception years ago. We'll just let them do the talking. What? Steve Perry talks. Journey's music has always received lots of airplay. Do you find yourself personally listening to the radio very much? That was the question. And Steve says, absolutely. I listen to the radio all the time. The radio is a very interesting medium. I'm into the actual sound of a record. And there's lots of things to consider when you're recording. How's it going to sound on the radio as far as the frequency responses go? Oh my gosh, he's so smart. Lord. Does it sound good? Does it sound crisp? Does it sound big? Rock hard solid. Oh, this is, maybe I should turn on a mature level for this piece. Or does it just sound wimped out? We're concerned about that for several stages along the way, because there's several stages along the way where it can get ruined. What sounds best to you on the radio right now? Now, again, we're in 1981. A friend of mine, Craig Krampf, Krampf, is the drummer on the Kim Carnes album. He's an excellent drummer. He's been around for years. He's just finishing up the Alice Cooper album and did Randy Meisner's latest. Anyway, I like that sound. Producer Val Garay has a very good sound. I listen to certain things for certain reasons. Sometimes I listen to a song because I like the way it was recorded, not particularly because of the music. I might like the drum sound, say, but not the singer. So Steve Perry's telling you he might like the drums, singer maybe not so much. So I wonder what singers he didn't like so much. That's kind of interesting. How does the new album fit in with Journey's evolution as a band and the general scheme of things? I think we're getting more exploratory than ever as we go along. Escape is exactly what it means. We're escaping from a lot of places and going to new ones. The album's different from other things we've done, and we've intentionally done that. We knew it was coming. We had songs written for it that were supposed to be on Evolution, but weren't finished. Really? So I wonder if those are still around. Now, this is from 1981. I don't even know this is here. Escape, the title cut, was written 2 years ago. So that was 1979. But we've never finished the lyrics. So that's what Jonathan and I did. The way the band's been selling records, a lot of people might think you all have it fairly easy at this point. Fairly easy at this point? Come on. You never have it easy in this business. But when you're all making lots of money and playing in front of thousands of people, aren't you? The band grosses a lot of money, sure. But it's a mistake to think that we're walking home with all the paychecks. Here we go. Here's some good stuff. We're living comfortably, enjoying our music. But what we're doing is, I'd say, returning 85 to 90% of it back to the wheel to roll. If it isn't a new stage, it's new lighting. You've got to refeed, recycle. It's just like the Sony Corporation. Every penny they get, they put it back into development and creation. They make a percent along the way, sure. But if they don't keep feeding the fire, the flame goes out. What? They're only getting a percentage. A percentage. Why did I say it like that? A percentage. Oh my gosh, my Rhode Island accent's so right there. So you guys don't sit around and think about how rich you are? Like, what kind of a question is that to ask somebody? Excuse me, Steve Harry. Like, do you just sit around and think about how much money you have and how... I'm not even going to go there. Definitely not. We never have. We've only recently been afforded the luxury of having some time off, and it's an expensive luxury. We have a lot of people who work with us, and we've got to keep their health plans up so that if they get sick, they'll be with us. This is not pretend rock. This is real rock. This is real rock. Out of the mouth of Steve Perry. Springtime Steve Perry. Some people, though, say it's corporate rock. Really? Here we go. That's only because the government makes you incorporate so you don't lose the money and can reinvest it. I mean, this is a business. Taking it further, Journey as heads of the corporation are now responsible for lots of people's lives. That's it in a nutshell, man. This is really good. Like, this is so good. And then there's a picture of Neil. He kind of looks like that mask. You know that what's that mask? The dripping face mask for Halloween? Come on, please tell me I'm not imagining that. Please tell me. Do you see that? Like, just the Scream mask. That's it. Please tell me this looks like the Scream mask. And or am I just seeing it? Ghostface. Right? Oh, I'm glad you're enjoying it, Maureen. So, and then look at the guy. But isn't this interesting how we're hearing about from 1981, here it is, they're being asked about money. They're being asked about money all the way back then. Because it kind of felt like, you know, it probably would feel like to somebody they were an overnight sensation, but they weren't because when did they start? Like 78? Did Steve Perry come in? I know. You want to see it again? I'll show you again. Where's the belly? He's got a little belly showing. A little belly. I mean, this is good stuff. You know what I'm saying? I have so many of these that I have not opened. I'm not kidding you. So many, with intentions of doing a video on every single one, and I just haven't had time. But we're doing it together right now. How fun is this? Stop it. What a great way to spend your Friday night, reading an old Creem magazine with Journey in it. An REO Speedwagon. All right, let's go on to the next one. These are kind of grainy, but that's okay. So there's this next one. Al, I hear your chair. I hear it.
Oh, I'm doing technical stuff. Just leave me alone. I'm doing the fader attenuators right now.
Do you have a snack?
No, but I'm getting hungry though.
I know.
I want black jelly beans on my own.
All right.
Okay. Do I still have to be quiet?
Yep.
Okay.
Don't talk. Okay. So, what if one day you got sick of writing songs or of singing? Would you have wanted to take 6 months off or something? You wouldn't be able to do it, would you? Okay, let's see what he says. Let's see what he says about taking time off. No, but well, we could do it if we really wanted to, but I don't think we'd really want to. I don't think we could afford such a luxury. Wow. In more ways than one, we want to keep out there. I mean, when the material keeps coming, what's the point of stopping? If we keep writing material and keep coming up with albums like this, why should anybody start getting lazy? Good point there. Why should we want to sit in our hindquarters? That's a big word. Hindquarters. I've never even heard of that word. Sure, we're going to be able to take some time off and enjoy our lives a little bit, but there's an inner drive in everybody to create, and you can't douse that flame. I think there's an infinite source of creativity that keeps haunting you, things that have to be moved. If they don't move, then they start to overflow like a bad gland, and you start to go crazy. So now it's getting glandular. Did you ever have swollen glands as a kid? I did all the time behind my ears. They get really big, and then I got my tonsils out, and I think they were better. What do you think about the competition? What about new wave rock? I don't exactly know what new wave is. I do like some of the fresh music coming out today, the very modern stuff. I heard a couple of things the other day by the Split Ends that I thought were pretty cool. I really haven't heard too much more. When we go out on the road with our Walkmans. Oh my God.
I can't. Walkmans.
We go out on the road with our Walkmans. Oh my God.
Steve Perry goes on the road with his Walkman. That is awesome.
Is when we have some time to pick up some cassettes.
Oh, I love
it.
It doesn't get any better than that. Cassettes.
I'm really, really jazzed up, though, about REO Speedwagon. Okay, Steve Perry was jazzed up about REO Speedwagon. Really? I've never met the guys, but after 10 years, their well-deserved overnight success, here we go, overnight success, makes me feel really good. I'm really glad. I'm just glad for them because I know I've seen those guys really work hard in the same fashion that this band has, on the road, working their beeps off. They're going to reap a lot of well-deserved success. Why do you think the press sometimes gives Journey a difficult time? Did they? Did the press give Journey a difficult time? Well, there are always people who are going to knock something that's happening. When you're an underdog, it's funny. When I first joined the band, no, I take that back. Before I joined the band, I'd see articles about them that would say diffused direction, lack of commerciality, lack of palatability, frenzied guitar playing, no cohesive direction, overall lacking direction. Then when I joined the band, the same columnist who you'd think would at least feel we were playing the kind of music we weren't before would say, high tenor vocalist, obvious long-haired commercialism, camp, this and that. You know, I mean, what do you do? After a certain point in time, you take it with a grain of salt, the size of a softball. This is fabulous. Like, I am so excited right now. I can't. It's interesting that you still talk to the press. Why would he not? Right. Well, because he doesn't now, really, too much. I'll tell you, I've almost wanted to assume a position of not talking to anybody. This is in 1981, kids. 1981. So he was at that point then. But wouldn't that just complete the perfect picture of a band of fat cats just sitting back, ignoring the press and getting rich? Interesting. I hope not. That wouldn't be the reasoning at all. The actual reasoning would be that there are too many, I can't even say the word, beep heads. You can get what the first four letters are. I mean, not the entire profession. I'm a musician, and there are so many flaky musicians, too. You don't know how many times musicians get branded as being flakes. And, oh my God. This word I can't say either. So it's a loose woman. So flakes, loose women, and it's so stereotyped. Really? Gosh dang. I just want the best, the best for everyone that deserves it, for how long they've worked. That's all, because I know. I looked around me when I joined the band, and I knew how long they'd been around. I knew before the band was even born how long everybody'd been around. And I knew how long I'd been around. And I think everybody deserves the best. I think people know what's happening. Anybody can write anything, but they know they were there, they brought it, they listened to it, and they like it. They've got their already preconceived feelings, and nobody can change their minds. There's a loyalty there. Okay, so that's the Steve Perry portion. It was really good. That was really good. So now we go on to Neil Sean. So does Neil Sean. Are you pretty satisfied after all these years with the way Journey has turned out? Let's see what Neil says back in 1981 about how Journey has turned out. Well, we had personal conflicts with Ainsley Dunbar. It's like the first sentence. Original Journey drummer. That's the reason Ainsley left, because everyone asked him to. Everyone asked him to leave. Can you go? Can you leave now? Excuse me. Excuse me. We need you to get out. So Ainsley left, and nobody was really getting along well at that time. Anyway, it's 1981. So maybe this started way before we even realized it started. This is quite eye-opening right now. And again, from me opening a package that is from March of 2022, but yet the magazine's from 1981, and they'd only had a few years of success at this point. Very, very interesting. And Greg Raleigh, original Journey keyboard player, it was just a case of him being tired of being on the road. He just wanted to stay at home for a while and just take a look at his life. I can't blame him. The man's been doing it for a long time. So have you. How old are you anyway? Like, who asks these questions? Like, I can't. 27. So Neil Sean at this point was 27 years old. Why aren't you tired of the road? Because he's only 27. Like, of course you're not going to be tired of the road at 27. That'd be crazy. I'll tell you, I really enjoy recording and playing on stage. I like that part of it all, but I'm not so knocked out about the traveling. I mean, I wish they had a beaming system. I'm ready for the space age. What do you think of the early Journey albums, the ones recorded without Steve? Okay, let's see what he says here. Well, next, when I listen to it now, it's like, well, it wasn't produced very well. We produced it ourselves. Okay, and it doesn't sound like we knew what the F we were doing, but some of the material I still think was pretty interesting, and I hear traces of it in a lot of people's music lately, even Led Zeppelin. There's this one song we had called Nickel and Dime, and on the last album they put out there was one tune that had exactly the same chord changes. Same thing with Rush. There's one song on their latest album that really resembles Nickel and Dime too. I was listening to it the other day and went, they're just rearranging the melody a little bit. Okay. Why do you think Journey suddenly became popular? Just because Steve came along? Well, rather than trying to be abstract, things just became a lot more song-oriented with a lot more vocals. Our instrumental pieces and musical ideas sort of take a back seat to that. You don't have as much room to create when you're writing songs. Now, if you want to play a real arty kind of music, it's hard to have vocals all over the place. It's like a painting. You've got to put lots of different colors on it. Robert Fleischman. Hello. If you think you could be more creative without playing vocals, why bother with them in the first place? Because that's what made him famous. Why? Because I think a majority of the people wouldn't understand it anyway. There are only a certain few who'll definitely go for it and respect you for it, but I say, why can't I do both? What kind of music do you listen to? I listen to all kinds of music. I do. Yeah. A lot of classical. I love Bach. Not Bachman Turner, Overdrive, Bach. Hard rock. I listen to Van Halen, AC/DC. I listen to the blues. Do you consider AC/DC and Van Halen the competition? Yeah, I do. I consider them both in the same league. Eddie Van Halen may know a few more notes than Angus Young does, but Angus pushes as much fire with what he's got. Eddie's a good friend of mine. Do you listen to New Wave at all? I don't think there's a hell of a lot of good stuff. I don't know. Benatar's good. Actually, I listen to almost every record that comes out. I still do that just to see what's happening. You have to do that or you'll get stagnant. Good point. You got to know what's around you. What have you heard lately that's really impressed you? Now let's see if anything has impressed him. Not a lot, really. I don't know. The Police are one of the bands I like a lot. I think they're doing something different. What we're trying to do is like do both sides. We're trying to be diversified, have a soft melodic side and a real hard wild side. And that's something I've never seen a band really do. Van Halen does one thing, AC/DC does one thing, but they don't turn around and do both. It's really a hard thing to do. It's easy to find out what your bag is and then stick with it, but trying to diversify yourself and doing both styles is much harder, but that's what we're trying to do anyway. You seem to be selling more and more records each time out. I think we're making better and better music all the time too, which is like taking a natural progression. We're selling more and more because we're making better and better music. So you're pretty satisfied with the way things are. Yeah, I really can't complain. That was really good. Thank you. That was really good. And there's Stevie Nicks. Next page of Journey. It was really good. Yeah. So if you want me to do more of these, I have many more.
That article's pretty relevant to today.
Right?
That's from 1981.
1981.
Then Steve Perry joined the band in 1977. And, yeah. So, I guess from what I understand, Journey's got like 10 more shows, and then they're done for the tour.
I don't think they're done this year.
And
That's my call. I think, thank you, Nancy. I think there's going to be another leg of this tour. I don't think this is over. I've said it before. I think because it's only, I think they're ending in the middle of May or something. They're going to Vegas or Nevada. They're going somewhere out there. I don't think this is it. I mean, I think they should take a nice break, be with their families and, enjoy themselves, enjoy life and, have some fun.
But that's...
Get off the road, re-energize, go enjoy your life and then come back. But it's not over this year for Journey. Absolutely not. That's my call.
But there's some really important things said back in 1981.
Interesting, right?